In this 2019 DD Talk, Larian Studios, Swanwing, takes a look at all the strategies employed to make Divinity originals into a better game than Divinity originals in, and how they worked out. Vink is a strong believer in the power of iteration, and in the course of his talk, he walked the audience through the ways in which the team tried to iterate on originals in statistical level. With varying levels of success, the team learned a lot about how to design and organize for iteration, and Vink shared some of those lessons alongside plenty of examples of both success and failure. His talk was a fantastic deep dive into the development process of one of the most critically acclaimed RPGs of 2017. And now you can watch it completely free over on the official GD YouTube channel. In addition to this presentation, THEGDC Vault and its accompanying YouTube channel offers numerous other free videos, audio recordings, and slides from many of the recent game developers conference events. And the service offers even more members-only content for DD Vault subscribers. Those who purchased all-access passes to recent events, like DD, would already have full access to DD Vault, and interested parties can apply for the individual subscription via a DD Vault subscription page. Group subscriptions are also available. Game-related schools and development studios who sign up for DD Vault Studio subscriptions can receive access for their entire office, accompanied by contacting staff via THEGDC Vault Group subscription page. Finally, current subscribers with access issues can contact DD Vault technical support. PlayStation has reviewed the games that will be offering free to PlayStation Plus subscribers next month, and in doing so reviewed the last games to come to both the Vita and PS3 through the program. It's been over 12 years since the PlayStation 3 first launched, and only 7 since the Vita debuted, so the idea that Sony would leave its legacy systems behind as it continues on with its current generation hardware is not an entirely shocking one. After all, the company made a similar cut by removing both platforms from its PlayStation Now program way back in 2017 as well, though PlayStation 3 and Vita players will still be able to access their library of previous PlayStation Plus titles. PlayStation will not be offering free games for either platform after this Final for the PS3, Best Divitic, and Metal Gear Solid for Guns of the Patriots, the Vita's Gunhouse and Raw Gases, if the rotation on March 8th. The company originally announced that it would be pulling the plug on the PlayStation 3 on the Vita side of its Plusbox about this time last year, so today's reminder should not come as a surprise by any means. Both platforms have also seen a decline in support for some time, leading up to both the initial announcement and today's reminder as well. Particularly the PlayStation Vita, which is due to end production in Japan sometime this year. Cool co-founder and studio director Salim Dabas discusses the goals and origins of its unique structure. Waypoint has published a story on the indie developer Coop, exploring the studio's unique co-op like management structure that bestows equal pay and equal power to each and every dev it employs. It's a studio structure that many have discussed in recent memory, including Coop itself in the 2018 DD session, and one that naturally has its own benefits and detriments. The model itself is something more and more devs are speaking highly of too, like the recently founded Workers' Co-op, the Glory Society, and Dead Cells Dead Motion Twin. In short, Coop operates its studio as a workers' cooperative, meaning that all members of its staff are paid the same, no matter their tenure. and all have an equal say in the big decisions that other studio structures might leave only to those higher up on the food chain. One team's success is every team's success, says studio co-founder Salim Dabbles. Fundamentally, if you choose to work here, you are agreeing to that kind of arrangement, where we are all working to find a way to make games sustainable for the whole company. The story points out that the system itself is not flawless. One dev interviewed points out that there's an adjustment period on from the start of hierarchical business structures most people have been exposed to in some degree since birth, and that, though the studio hopes to mitigate it, crunch is still an occasional part of the job. But, argues Dabbles, by being honest, when we fuck up and do have to exploit ourselves, at least we are benefiting from the fruits of our labor. It's not just going to another person who gets to fire us at the end of the day. The full story over on Waypoint dives into the origins of Coop's Co-op, and touches on how the 1-0-person team has navigated around their own preconceptions about the employer-employee relationship to adjust to the unique management style. Chinese regulators are once again reviewing games submitted for license consideration in China, putting an end to the licensing freeze that had halted game approvals for the bulk of 2018. According to TechCrunch, one set of games has already been evaluated under the freshly restructured system, and that licenses for approved games should be assigned in the near future. Prior to today, Chinese game makers had been enduring a 9-month-long freeze on the approval process that typically greenlights games for release and monetization in China. The halt was the result of an internal power reshuffling that oversees the government's Central Propaganda Committee State Administration of Press Publication, taking control of the approval process, a move that aims to give the central government more control over the country's game market. Now up and running again, the approval process is both looking to bar games that are deemed to contain pornography, gambling, violence, historical misrepresentations, and other potentially inappropriate content, according to a statement made by a senior member of the Chinese Communist Party's propaganda department. In the wake of the approval fall, TechCrunch reports that shares of major Chinese game makers have already seen a notable rise. Tencent's shares have increased by 4% since the announcement, while NetEase has seen a 1% increase. The 2019 Game Developers Conference will feature an exhibition titled GDCDADICATEDTOGAMES that uses alternative control schemes and interactions. Gamasutra will be talking to the developers of each of the games that have been selected for the showcase. Through unclimb reaching as players rapidly tugging on a circular rope to climb a wall, hopping from side to side to avoid hazards that dangle along their path. Gamasutra spoke WITHTAKHIRO developer of Ruins Climber, to talk about designing a controller and then creating a game around it, the difficulties of making a controller with rope, and the appeal of creating games that are as fun to spectate as they are to play. I am Takahiro Miyazawa. I made this project alone. For about 20 years, I have been making browser games. I wanted to make a game about playing something. When I thought about something fun to pull, I thought of the rope made into a ring shape, so it can be pulled endlessly. I do not want to provide a description about how to play my games at game shows, because it's so busy. So, I'd always design games that do not need a description. If the game character makes the same gesture as the player, explanation is not necessary. Ruins Climber was made with Unity and Arduino. The rope was made by rolling a towel. The frame uses a water pipe. The rope had to pull freely with a light force, and it had to be durable. I made 5 prototypes. I always make a controller at first. Next, I make a game for this controller. So, the game design is determined naturally. I think that unique controllers can entertain not only the players, but also the audience. It is very important for the audience to have fun. I like to watch everyone's reaction at the event, and it is fun to provide play that you have never experienced yet. Almost exactly 1 year ago, I wrote an article about how crazy it is to try to compete with Steam. So you want to compete with Steam? If you have not read that yet, give it a quick skim. Competing head-on with an entrenched market leader is called red ocean strategy, because it's like a feeding frenzy of sharks, all tearing each other apart to get at the same piece meat. Now, I am not saying nobody should compete against Steam. What I am saying is that taking on the top shark is fraught with peril.